Why is 3 a.m. considered the witching hour or the devil's hour? Have you ever woken up at exactly 3 a.m., looked at the clock, and felt a chill run down your spine? Maybe you heard a strange noise, felt like someone was watching you, or just had an eerie feeling that something wasn't quite right. Congratulations! You've just entered what many call the witching hour or the devil's hour. But why does this hour, out of all the 24 in a day, get such a creepy reputation? Is it just superstition, or is there something more to it? Let's dig in, but don't be surprised if you suddenly feel the urge to check behind you, the legends. Behind the witching hour, the idea that 3 a.m. is a time of supernatural activity isn't new. In fact, it dates back centuries. Many cultures and beliefs point to this time as being when the veil between our world and the supernatural realm is at its thinnest. The biblical connection, some say 3 a.m. is the opposite of 3 p.m., the time traditionally associated with Jesus' crucifixion. If 3 p.m. is considered a holy time, then 3 a.m. is often believed to be its sinister counterpart, making it a prime time for dark forces to be at play. Witchcraft and folklore. In medieval Europe, people believed that witches, demons, and other supernatural beings were most powerful between 3 a.m. and 4 a.m. The Catholic Church even banned activities during this time, fearing that people might engage in dark rituals. Paranormal activity. Many ghost hunters and paranormal investigators claim that 3 a.m. is when ghostly activity peaks. Some people report hearing whispers, feeling sudden cold spots, or even seeing shadowy figures at this hour. Now, before you start blaming your creaky floorboards on ghosts, let's take a step back and ask, could there be a more logical reason behind this eerie hour? Science says, it's all in your head. Maybe, not everything spooky has to be supernatural. Science has a few explanations for why we might feel uneasy at 3 a.m. The sleep cycle effect. Around 3 a.m., most people are in their deepest sleep phase. If you suddenly wake up, your body and brain are in a groggy, disoriented state. This can lead to feelings of confusion, fear, and even hallucinations. Your brain loves to play tricks on you. Ever notice how things seem scarier at night? That's because, in darkness, our brain tries to fill in the gaps. A shadow in the corner? Probably just a coat hanging on a chair, but your half-asleep mind turns it into a lurking figure. The power of suggestion. If you've heard enough scary stories about 3 a.m., you're more likely to feel scared if you wake up at that time. Your mind is wired to expect something spooky, so it creates fear where there may be none. So, does this mean the witching hour is all just a mix of old myths and brain tricks? Well, maybe. The 3 a.m. phenomenon. In pop culture, Hollywood and horror movies love to keep the 3 a.m. mystery alive. Think of movies like The Exorcism of Emily Rose or The Conjuring series, where strange things always seem to happen at this eerie hour. Even urban legends and internet horror stories, looking at you, creepypasta fans, keep adding fuel to the fire. Ever heard of the 3 a.m. challenge? It's a trend where people try to do spooky things at 3 a.m., like playing with Ouija boards or calling on spirits. Spoiler alert, nothing usually happens, except maybe scaring yourself silly. Should you be worried about 3 a.m.? The real question is, should you be afraid of waking up at 3 a.m.? Probably not. Unless, of course, you hear your name whispered from the darkness and you live alone. Jokes aside, waking up at this time is common and usually not a sign of anything supernatural. It could be stress, your sleep cycle, or just your body's way of telling you that you had too much coffee before bed. But let's be real, the next time you wake up at exactly 3 a.m., will you shake it off and go back to sleep, or will you lie there, staring at the ceiling, wondering if someone, or something, is watching you? What do you think? Have you ever experienced anything strange at 3 a.m.? Do you think the witching hour is real, or is it all just psychological? Share your thoughts in the comments, if you dare.